Raise your fists together. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody is somebody. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop bullying. Save the children.
Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
The push is on, and thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Saturday Morning Forum. I'm Tim Lee, and I am so delighted that I have been given an opportunity to share with you in this capacity. Listen, we want to start today's broadcast off with shout outs. We want to first shout out you, the viewer. Thank you for tuning in on all of our platforms, on all of our networks, whether you're watching from Impact TV or Facebook or YouTube. Thank you. If you're watching from Impact TV, you can save this, you can share this by DVRing. You can use the DVR function to save or share this with your friends and family later. If you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, why don't you smash that like button right now? If you haven't already done so, won't you share the content and subscribe? Share and subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that for us. For our second shout out, we want to give a very special happy birthday to two of our founding board members. First, happy birthday to Spencer Leak Sr. of Leak & Sons Funeral Home. And second, happy birthday to Reverend Henry O'Hardy, who is the pastor emeritus of Cosmopolitan Community Church. Happy birthday to both of you.
Antioch Baptist Church is a beacon of the Englewood spiritual community.
This has been a place where people have gotten married. They found their faith. They've been encouraged. They've been equipped and empowered. It's a neighborhood church, and we love the community.
We are a family. We go beyond the church walls, and we love each other.
Know this: if we've got to lose something, losing it on Good Friday is the best time to lose it, because after Good Friday comes Resurrection Sunday.
It is with a heavier heart that we send prayers and ask you to send prayers for the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church family here in Chicago. We all heard about the devastating news of a fire breaking out just an hour after the Good Friday service. Reverend Dr. Gerald Mdu received a call and came back to the church from home to see the flames engulfing the church. Our hearts are going out to all of the church members, all the families, all the friends, all the supporters. On Easter Sunday, Reverend Jackson worshiped with the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church family. And after the service, he shared these words.
When Dr. King first gave me the assignment here at our breadbasket, my name was not very well known at that time. Antioch fed me and my children. John was a child, and Santita and Yusef, just little children at that time. Antioch fed us. Helped subsidize Dr. King's support in Chicago. Bob says, ruin the ancient landmarks. This is a landmark. This is a frame of reference. My family wanted to raise $10,000 for this church by next Sunday, because people in England would have benefited from this church down through the years. We were at 7th Halls for many years, and much of our church congregation came out of Antioch. W.N. Daniels pastor at that time. He used to preach on Sunday morning, jump on the piano.
Yeah, he do it.
He did. And we want to thank Antioch for his service down through the years, being the landmark. We want to thank Callahans for having service here. We're going to mobilize people. I want to be on the finance drive committee. The other people who are not members of the church want to be on the committee, because we need Antioch to come back strong. And we're going to build some other stuff, gymnasia, other stuff we're going to build. Wouldn't have thought of. Tell you the resurrection comes after crucifixion. It's sad Friday, sadness, it's happened at the right time. Now politics are going to be competing. Get money to Antioch. We got mayors now, we didn't have mayors at that time. So the council people who can speak up, State legislatures can speak, Congress can speak. We got levels of government that we now have investment in. And I can invest in us, now we must return the blessing. I want to thank it. My family going to raise the money is because I heard bread cast on the water. Come back, toast with butter on it. Yeah. So we want to give bread back. Thank you, Antioch.
Amid the tragedy of the fire, there is a miracle. And that miracle is that though the flames engulfed and in a real sense destroyed the sanctuary, there is a beautiful mural that still stands. There's a beautiful mural that was untouched. And it's the mural of Jesus ascending into heaven with his disciples looking onward. And as we can celebrate this miracle, we celebrate the members of the church who have kept the faith throughout this devastation. So again, our prayers are with the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church family. We are praying with and for you. We're also praying for Chef Jose Andres, who is a founder of World Central Kitchen. And you may know that World Central Kitchen and Rainbow Push partnered during the pandemic to feed families. So we're praying for Chef Jose because just last week, while serving families in the Ukraine, one of his kitchens was bombed. He is remaining hopeful and even sent out a message of hope that we'd like to share with you now.
Here at World Central Kitchen, on behalf of Nate Mook, our amazing leader and CEO, who is in Kharkiv right now, we wanted to send this message of unity. In this moment that humanity should be celebrating the goodness of the earth, what this beautiful planet of ours creates, we need to make sure that the very few that don't believe in unity and in longer tables and in building a better tomorrow, the very few we need to put aside, and we the people together, make sure we become an army of goodness. It's not justified to be bombing train stations with women and children trying to live to the safety of another country. It's not fair to be bombing hospitals. It's not fair to be bombing schools where people are bunkering down when at the same time, obviously, shells right and left. It's just not fair in the 21st century that we see the horrors we're going through. But it's time of celebration because, again, it's a lot of goodness. The best of humanity shows up, unfortunately, in the worst moments of humanity. And this is what I want really to celebrate on Easter. A kitchen of ours, a partner in Yarko outside Kharkiv, was destroyed by a missile. We got 4 wounded friends, but they are okay. And today they moved the kitchen. They are going to be cooking tomorrow in another location. You see, the goodness always shines through, and we're going to keep cooking and feeding as many people as we can. And we only do it because we have your support. So thank you for being there for us. I want you to know that we are here for the Ukrainian people, and together, hopefully, we will dream of a better tomorrow where sometimes a simple plate of food is the only way we know how to send a message of unity and a message of love. Longer tables, no higher walls, and especially no war.
Now, friends, we want you to take out a pencil, get your digital writing devices out, because we want you to mark your calendars. We want you to mark your calendar for May the 18th and May the 19th, because on this day, we are having a Push Tech Summit. This is going to be led by Dr. Joseph Bryan at our Silicon Valley satellite site. But if you can't make it all the way to San Francisco, don't worry, because it's going to be completely virtual. If you want to push for opportunities and push for change in the technical spheres, this is going to be a conference that's all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So sign up today at our website, www.rainbowpushsv.org. Again, that website is www.rainbowpushsv.org. We also want you to mark your calendars for June the 18th until June the 22nd, because we're going to be hosting the annual International Rainbow Push Convention. We're going to start here at the headquarters, where we're going to have graduation day, where we're going to celebrate all the young people who could not have an adequate graduation in 2020, 2021, or this year, 2022. So if you have graduated in those years, come on out on that Saturday and celebrate with us, and let us celebrate you. Won't you join us at the South Shore Cultural Center this year on those days, so that we can continue to push for opportunities? Register today at www.rainbowpush.org. Early bird registration is only $50, and you can take advantage of this early bird price until May the 31st. After May the 31st, registration is going to go up to $100, so get your registration today. Again, that's www.rainbowpush.org. See you there.
This person whom I am about to introduce, most of us know him as a skilled negotiator, a peerless mobilizer, a leader of leaders. When doors of political and economic opportunity were bolted shut, he opened them, unhinging the barriers of bigotry. As a moral leader, he has summoned the conscience of this nation and nations around this world, bringing light in darkness. When other people said we can't, he said we can. When walls were high, he scaled them, preaching and speaking against sin and injustice, breaching the barricades of racial exclusion. And as a presidential candidate, when everybody thought he could not make it, he said he could, and he kept on running. He ran in Alaska, he ran in Iowa, he ran in Massachusetts, he ran in Maine, he ran in Michigan, and came out to be the top presidential candidate, and we are so proud. Not only is he a candidate, this man is a leader. He is a prophet, because Moses, God spoke to Moses, and he said to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and tell them to go forward. Jesse Jackson, through experience and just plain nerves, spoke to us and said, let us go forward. I want you to meet this great preacher, this great prophet, this great leader, this great husband, this great father, and all of our mentors, the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, the founder of Operation Push.
On April 24th, 1989, at the convening of the African American Summit in New Orleans, Louisiana, Reverend Jackson spoke to the summit attendees and delegates about the power of that historical moment and the power of the people to win against great odds. After a challenging 8 years of Reaganomics, the continuation of economic policies that were punitive against the poor was being felt in the first year of President George H.W. Bush's presidency. But Reverend Jackson was not deterred in New Orleans and is not discouraged now. Just as Reverend Jackson, by his presence and support at the White House a few days ago, bore witness to the progress of America in the confirmation of Justice Designate Ketanji Brown Jackson, Reverend Jackson's efforts to prepare us all for the long struggle of progress go back decades.
So much sunshine on so many young women, so many young black women, so many minorities, that it's real. It's real. We're going to look back, nothing to do with me. We're going to look back and see this as a moment of real change in American history. I was on the phone this morning, Jesse, with President Ramaphosa of South Africa. And he was talking about how the time that I was so outspoken about what was going on in my meeting with Nelson Mandela here. And I said, I'm shortly going to go out, I'm looking out the window. I'm going to go out on this, what they call the South Lawn in the White House. And I'm going to introduce to the world, the first African-American woman out of over 200 judges on the Supreme Court. And he said to me, he said, keep it up. Keep it up. We're going to keep it up.
As President Biden called out to his friend by name that day, he recognized that the efforts of those who have sown seeds of possibility in their prime, like Reverend Jackson, are now rewarded with the fruits of their labor, progress. Let's take a look back at that day in New Orleans 33 years ago and be reminded of the power of each moment in the quest for progress.
History is unbroken continuity. God has never missed a day. It is a sin to trivialize history and say it does not matter what they call me or where I am from. God has never missed a day since creation. We should never trivialize history. We are not descendants of slaves, nor up from slavery, but rather Africans who were enslaved, though blooded and broken, they never bowed. We come from a glorious and great lineage and heritage. Moses married Zipporah, an African woman. David was the father of Solomon, an African king whose mother was Bathsheba, an African woman whose husband Uriah David had killed. Jesus was in the lineage of David. And when his life was threatened, Joseph and Mary took him to Egypt, to northern Africa, to save his life from age 12 to age 30. Took him to the cradle of civilization. And lest we forget the timeliness of this conference, what's in a name? Everything. History, lineage, and cultural integrity and political context. Why do we support Japanese reparations? Because the context is a people illegally removed from their land and incarcerated were due to be repaired. What's the basis of supporting a state for Jewish people? Our knowledge of the Holocaust. A people abandoned and burned deserve the place to stay, to call their own. Why do we support a Palestinian state? A nomadic abandoned people deserve a place to call their own. Unless slavery in this country and the 250 years of legal segregation is admissible evidence in the court, we will never win an affirmative action case. History is unbroken continuity because God has never missed a day. African roots of American civilization: free labor, culture, art, religion, music. The African roots of American civilization. We're in the world equation now. The peace movement in Europe. So please come tour our continent. They know we have the moral authority. We're in the equation now. Don't be discouraged. In Russia, we went from place to place to listen to Stevie Wonder. They hear our music. They play our songs. We're in the equation now. They know about this conference. Those in Intifada on the West Bank asking me to come and help them gain their freedom. We're in the equation now. Mandela knows we're meeting today. We're in the equation now. Medgar, Malcolm, and Martin did not die in vain. Yes. We're in the equation now. Yeah. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. When it's tough, say the Lord is my light and my salvation. The morning comes. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then we will hear from heaven and God will heal our land. Love you.
Good morning. We are in the midst of a major drive to get more members, more people engaged and involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in public policy and you want to help change the policies that impact those incarcerated, change the policies that impact students attending colleges and universities, if you want to be a policymaker, then you need to join Rainbow Push and join by paying your $35 right now. Some of you watch us every week. You listen to us on the radio. You're viewing us in social media. We need you to become a member. It's only $35 a year. If you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, we've awarded more than $10 million to scholars year to date. What do you have to do to give and support Push? It's really very simple. You can go to rainbowpush.org if you're on a computer and press donate. Give any amount. Every dollar is important. You want to talk to somebody, call us at 773-256-2775. You can give right now, any denomination that you choose. You can text the word PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. Text the word on your cell phone. Most of you have a cell phone. Just text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. And you can give any amount that you feel comfortable giving. Or call us 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and just press donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
Hello, 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 everyone. It's Dr. Joseph Bryant Jr., Executive Director of the Rainbow Push West Coast Silicon Valley office. And we are so excited about our upcoming Push Tech Conference. You must register because your registration is literally going to be your ticket to opportunity. We're not just inviting you to come and watch a conference. We are inviting you to engage with us because your ticket will give you access to opportunities like no other. We are giving away opportunities for every person registered for the Push Tech Conference to experience after the conference some wonderful opportunities to expand your business, improve your ministry, to help students develop trade and abilities in technology, as well as utilizing our links to connect you to the metaverse and to virtual reality like no other. So you must register. We're going to make sure every person uses that ticket to opportunity to have a chance to be trained in our partnership with Facebook/Meta in their Elevate Digital Certification Program. We are offering the opportunity to help students, especially college-age students, prepare for digital careers, not just enjoying social media, but working and making money using social media in a program with Meta that helps connect young people to their certification process and then connect Black and brown minority small businesses to access and maximize the internet and social media for your benefit. So we're making those opportunities. That training is going to be free for everyone that connects to the conference. We are also presenting free opportunities for anyone interested in the evolving e-gaming and esports world to connect with us as the founder and commissioner of the fan-controlled Football League. Ray Austin will be talking about opportunities online for you to engage. There will be various former football players that are now working in the esports and augmented reality who are looking for interns to be a part of that experience in gaming and esports and sports technology. You will have access to all of those folks if you register. Then we also never forget our faith community through our Faith Tech Connected Churches program. If you register for the conference, your church can get a free assessment and a free training on social media, Zoom, live streaming. Again, your ticket to opportunity comes as you register for the Push Tech Conference. And last but certainly not least, the highlight of the conference is going to be a tour through the metaverse that is going to be narrated by former President Barack Obama. It's called The People's House, and you will be able to have an experience online where you will go into the rooms of the White House being guided and narrated by President Obama. Isn't that exciting? I'm telling you, you need your ticket to opportunity. You need to support, you need to sponsor, you need to connect, you need to engage, you need to promote, you need to get the word out, because that experience alone is a game changer, because not only will you be able to use your ticket to opportunity to go into those rooms under the voice of President Obama, we are going to make links available to every person that registers for you to have your own access moving past the conference. So again, after the conference ends, you'll be able to do even more. We'll teach you and train you and show you how you can maximize your experience in the virtual world, in the metaverse, and take advantage of these realities that we are presenting through our Push Tech platform. Sign up today, register today. Businesses, get online with us today. Companies that want to partner, support, sponsor, engage, get with us right here, right now. Don't wait another second. Click on right now, go online and register at rainbowpushsv.org. For more information, you can send an email to us and we will provide as much information as you need, but do not miss registering for this year's Push Tech Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Conference. It's going to be a game changer. See you there.
This is Bishop Tavis Grant, the National Field Director for the Rainbow Push Coalition. I want to thank you for being a part of our International Saturday Morning Forum. You know, the work of Jesse Lewis Jackson continues not just here in the United States, but around the world. And we are very much excited about your partnership and your membership. You can help us in so many ways. At the bottom of the screen, you can go to rainbowpush.org, follow us on all of our social media platforms, and make sure you tell somebody that the push is on. You know, this week we received the unfortunate news that there won't be any charges against Jason Van Dyke as it relates to the civil rights violations of Laquan McDonald. In spite of that news, we'll continue to organize, mobilize, and galvanize our base around the issues of civil rights and social justice. And we think it's very much an imperative in times like these that we continue to raise the voice and the cause of ensuring that we can get equal protection under the law. That is why it's so significant that the Congress must pass the George Floyd Justice Act. It affords so many protections to so many Americans that we cannot afford for it not to be passed. Equally so, we're working with our allies in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where young Patrick Layoya was shot point blank in the back of the head as a result of a traffic stop. Over and over again, we see the pattern in practice of police officers who stop persons driving while black, jogging while black, walking while black, living while black, and in these incidents, the same result is dead. And we're asking for the Michigan governor and the Attorney General of Michigan to launch an independent investigation into these incidents to ensure that this family not only gets closure, but the community gets transparency, and those who are held responsible for the killing and murder of young Patrick were brought to bear in our criminal justice system. You know, as we approach our annual convention here in Chicago, June 18th through the 22nd, it becomes so important for you to become very much involved in all that we're doing. So many times when we're traveling around the country or we're engaged with our satellites, our chapters, people ask us over and over again, what can I do to help? Well, what you can do is become a member right now. That contribution and that seed that you sow into civil rights affords us to grow and grow and grow and expand in ways that afford us the opportunity to make sure we leave no one left behind. And so I want you to help us keep hope alive by becoming a member today and joining the fastest growing civil rights army in America, the Rainbow Push Coalition. Help us keep hope alive.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Morning Forum at the Rainbow Push Coalition. If you're just joining us, we're about to have a conversation about youth and young adults. We talked earlier about how our annual conference is coming up in June, but there seems to be a degree of apathy with youth and young adults in the emerging generations. Are they involved in civil rights as it was in the 1960s? Are they going to be involved with the convention? Are they going to be involved with the freedom, justice, and equality fight that we are fighting even in 2022? I'm here with Reverend Tyrone McGowan. He is a pastor of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Robbins, Illinois. He is also the former field director of the Rainbow Push Coalition and has even worked with college and campus ministries at Trinity United Church of Christ. Thank you so much for joining us, Reverend McGowan. And let's talk, though, from your experiences, from your expertise, what's going on with this generation?
Well, first, Tim, thank you for having me. It's so good to see you, and it's so good to be back in Dr. King's workshop. I feel that this is a unique time for youth and young adult activism, not only here locally in Chicago, but across the nation. I feel that as we see so many grave miscarriages of justice. We look at another young black male was shot in the back, I believe, in Michigan, Grand Rapids. These things keep on happening, these injustices in the criminal injustice system here in the yet to be United States of America. We look at what's happening, the outcry to end student loan debt that has really sent a wave of activism throughout college students and older graduate students and alumni across the nation. This call to President Biden in Congress to end student loan debt. Those are just two issues that I think could serve as launching points for activism. And I think that they sound the alarm that this is a long distance race that we run. And that's what Reverend Jackson always talks about. It's one thing to just be a social media activist and just post and tweet and share, but we actually have to be on the ground. We actually have to know who our legislators are. We have to know who our judges are. And be out there on the field, in the ground, doing the practical work, connecting with organizations like PUSH who are doing this work continuously and letting our voices be heard through ongoing activism, not just when it's close to election season or when an event like a George Floyd happens, but perpetually, continually letting our voices be heard. And I think that's the call for youth and young adults today.
So let me ask you, Reverend, do you think that there is tension or enmity between the generations? Is this generation that's emerging into leadership and adulthood, are they doing what they need to do? I don't want to sound like that, but they're doing what they can do as it relates to social media, but are they doing enough? And point us in a direction.
Yeah, that's a great multi-layered question. I think first you talk about this sort of intergenerational challenge, I would say. And I think that's always been present. It's not just something new, but I think that tension has always been there. If you go back, even in the civil rights generation, there was that, that SCLC crowd was kind of older, and then the newer kind of SNCC, Black Panther Party crowd was younger. It was like, 10 to 15 years younger. And so there was that kind of dynamic. That's still very much present here today. But even in scripture, it says that it's not an either or, it's a both and. We need both the wisdom of the elders and the strength and the creativity of the young people. And together, we could do more together than we could apart. You look at in the book of Nehemiah, they had to come together to build the wall. It was both young and old, rich and poor. And I think when we find common ground with each other, we can always point out differences, but what can we do together? Where can we align with? What do we agree with on these issues? And what can we learn from previous battles that can help inform our current strategy moving forward with these issues? So I think that's where we have to have that family conversation to really come up with the what is our Black agenda? Like, I think that needs to be where we go. From here, especially in a critical year like this, 2022, when so much is at stake. The U.S. Senate, a third of the U.S. Senate, all of the House, all of that sets the stage for 2024.
Well, I think this has been a rich conversation. I really appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We have a convention that's coming up. And on the first day of the convention, on the 18th, we're going to be reserving that day for youth and young adults. If you have graduated from high school, college, in the year 2022, 2021, and even 2020, we want to invite you out to join hands with an organization like the Rainbow Push Coalition, with a leader like the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, who has been fighting for freedom, justice, and equality for decades. And we need that wisdom, your word, and we need that energy, your language, so that we can get where we belong. Friends, if you have not registered for the conference and you have just heard about it and you want to make plans to join, won't you go to www.rainbowpush.org right now? We want you to register for the conference and to make sure that you are making this intergenerational. Make your voice heard. We also want to say that we have much programming for youth and young adults and even children. And we have been working with the Push Excel Oratorical Society. And up next, we have a brilliant young man who actually won first place in his division. Bradley Ross Jackson will be reciting an original poem that even speaks to what's going on with the relationship between African Americans and police officers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Bradley Ross Jackson as he delivers The Talk.
The Talk by Bradley Ross Jackson. Straight A's decorated my report card as I envisioned my mom, smiling from ear to ear. Yes, life is but a dream, and I was living the dream! Until the sirens started to scream, and the red lights, they began to beam. Yes, sir? No, sir. May I slowly reach for my insurance card, sir? Why did they attempt to strip away my dignity with intimidation, discrimination, and humiliation? It's all a ball of confusion, and I'm up to bat. And I am batting 1,000 with my education, articulation, and optimization. Even so, the combo must occur, because unfair exemption does not offer people who look like me sweet redemption. Like James Brown jamming at the Apollo. Say it loud, I'm back and I'm proud. My hands are proud enough to remember the 10 and 2 positions. Sir, you stopped me and ran my license plates too? Simply because I'm driving a luxury car that looks brand new? Those who are not kissed by the sun do not have to endure this madness. No, not one. Sir, may I please depart as I did not commit a crime? Like 9 minutes and 29 seconds. We're running out of time. Addressing the police as sir was not my way of selling out, but it was my creative way of surviving and removing all doubt. Staring through the windshield. Thinking sir. S-I-R must mean, surely it's racism. Images of 9 minutes and 29 seconds dance through my head. My peeps are depending on me, and they cannot find me dead. You see, the talk was not about the birds and the bees. Instead, my talk was about the police officers' knees.
Push Excel's goal is to inspire students to strive for excellence in education in spite of personal, family, and community challenges that they might experience. How do we do this? By advocating for educational policies that guarantee equal funding for all students without regard to race or economic standing. By engaging parents, students, and teachers in pursuing high-quality education and striving for educational excellence at every level. And by forging partnerships with community-based and public sector stakeholders in education. Now, Push Excel is a national model program with the purpose of connecting principals, parents, popular personalities, and students in a bond and to support students at every level on the educational ladder. Now, we want you to become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition and Push Excel. Your annual membership can help us to change policies that impact students, colleges, and universities all around the country. So step up and sign up today. Membership is only $35, and if you're a student or a senior, $15. Just go to our website, rainbowpush.org, and push join to become a member or push donate to support the Push Excel program. You can also text the word Push Excel, that's PUSHEXCEL, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give us any amount that you feel comfortable giving or call us at 773-256-2775. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you. And remember to keep hope alive.
Welcome to this week's Due Process. I'm Todd Yeary. The town of Mason, Tennessee continues to fight for its administrative independence against the efforts of the Tennessee Comptroller, Jason Mumpower. Chancery Court Judge Ann Martin has denied the town's request to issue a preliminary injunction that would temporarily halt the state's financial takeover. In her ruling, Martin indicated that state law gives the comptroller broad powers over local government operations. While the judge did not rule on the allegations of discriminatory intent and effect, Mason's leaders still assert that they are being treated differently than other majority white local governments that have experienced similar financial difficulties. Martin indicated that she had not been presented with enough evidence to rule on allegations of discrimination. Comptroller Mumpower formally took control of the town's finances on April 4th, after accusations of long-standing financial mismanagement. The comptroller's office has implemented a corrective action plan that includes an almost $10,000 per month repayment schedule to pay down the town's debt. The oversight means that most, if not all, of the town's expenditures will be approved by the comptroller. The town's lawyers have indicated they will continue to represent the elected officials pro bono and have indicated that they will continue to pursue legal remedies to restore the local autonomy of Mason's leadership. Public records indicate that the town's debt to its utility operations fund was about $290,000 in 2018, then rose to $700,000 by 2021. The debt has been reduced and now is approximately $260,000, due largely to town officials paying down the debt from American Rescue Plan dollars appropriated to the town. Town officials assert that the fiscal mismanagement that the comptroller is criticizing occurred almost 10 years ago under different leadership. That leadership was mostly white, while the current administration is mostly black. At stake is the economic impact expected from the construction of an electric vehicle plant by the Ford Motor Company. Leaders of the company have expressed concern about the Mason issue, but have not publicly stated what its expectations are as it pertains to a resolution. Rainbow Push Coalition will continue to stand with our civil rights partners in support of the town of Mason and its leadership in resolving this matter to the benefit of Mason residents. In Baltimore, Mayor Brandon Scott has initiated a pilot program that will provide $1,000 per month to 200 young parents in an effort to address persistent poverty in the city. Using almost $5 million from the city's $641 million federal American Rescue Plan appropriation, the pilot project is designed to provide discretionary income to help stabilize families who face monthly disruptions due to insufficient resources. The program will begin accepting applications on May 2nd and will provide monthly payments to 200 parents between the ages of 18 and 24. No restrictions will be placed on how families can spend the money in an effort to grant autonomy to families in determining how best to meet essential needs. Baltimore's pilot program is one among a number of cities across the country. Similar programs for guaranteed income have been initiated in Denver, Los Angeles, Newark, New Jersey, New Orleans, and San Francisco. In order to be eligible for the pilot program, applicants must earn at or below 300% of the federal poverty level based on their household size and have at least part-time responsibility for a biological or adopted child. City officials will measure the pilot program's outcomes by collecting qualitative and quantitative data about participants' experiences and the economic outcomes. We will keep you updated on the pilot program's launch, progress, and impact. The United States Supreme Court has turned down a petition that would allow Puerto Rico residents to claim benefits under the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI. The court voted 8-1 against granting a Puerto Rico resident access to the federally funded program. The court's ruling was authored by Justice Brett Kavanaugh and focused on the territory's tax status, particularly the fact that residents of Puerto Rico are typically exempt from most federal income tax. Kavanaugh wrote that the rational basis test, when applied to the issue, established that it was reasonable for Congress to use a cost-benefit analysis to determine how taxes and benefit programs apply to the territories at the individual or collective level. A 2011 study by the Government Accountability Office found that about 300,000 of Puerto Rico's roughly 3 million residents would have been eligible for SSI. However, only a fraction of them get a similar benefit currently, and the amounts are much smaller than typical SSI payments. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who is of Puerto Rican descent, was the lone dissenter. The justice's opinion highlights the continuing debate about whether U.S. citizens living in the territories should enjoy all of the constitutional provisions as other U.S. citizens. While Justice Kavanaugh's opinion spoke to the applicability of the benefits to Puerto Rico residents, it did not speak to the historical issues of race and colonialism, which inform the application of U.S. policy to residents of Puerto Rico. The fight for equity and justice for all Americans continues. Last week, we shared with you the difficulties that Black farmers continue to face in their efforts to remain viable and competitive after decades of disparate treatment in the administration of federal agriculture programs. In response to the ongoing equity crisis in agriculture, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has released its Equity Action Plan, which outlines steps the department will take to promote equity and improve access to its programs and services. Recognizing the equity gap in gaining access to critical resources and technical assistance in underserved communities, the plan seeks to remediate many of the harms caused by disparately created and implemented programs that have catered to and benefited those with land and money, while leaving behind those without resources or other privilege, among them racial entitlement. Created in response to President Biden's executive order advancing racial equity and support to underserved communities, the plan will focus on expanding technical assistance in helping farmers access USDA programs, including business planning, marketing, and other essential technical skills. The plan also calls for increased infrastructure investments that benefit underserved communities, as well as reducing barriers to department programs that often put disadvantaged farmers and landowners at greater economic peril. We will continue to highlight the equity plan and the Department of Agriculture's efforts to advance equity in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Almost 40 years after her graduation from high school, Tracy Mears has finally received the recognition she earned for her academic performance. In 1984, Tracy Mears had the highest grade point average of the entire senior class at Springfield High School in Illinois. Normally, that would mean that she'd be honored as the valedictorian of the graduating class at the commencement exercises that year. However, that was not the case. Tracy Mears, who is Black, was told that she was simply one of the top students and would share the recognition with another classmate who was white. Although Tracy's grade point average was weighted due to her enrollment in many advanced placement and honors courses, she was overlooked as her white counterpart, who had not taken classes as rigorous, was taken to appear before local organizations, while Tracy was not. Mears had been denied the honor due to the conduct of an assistant principal at the school, who had been caught removing her school file from the school counselor's office. That year, instead of naming a valedictorian and salutatorian, the school opted to name, quote, top students instead. After the viewing of a documentary titled No Title for Tracy, school officials finally corrected the record by granting Tracy Mears the title of valedictorian she earned almost 40 years ago. Mears went on to graduate from the University of Illinois with an engineering degree before earning her law degree from the University of Chicago. Today, Tracy Mears is a distinguished professor of law at Yale University and formerly served on the faculty of the University of Chicago. She is noted as being the first Black woman to hold tenured professorships at both universities. She also was appointed to the Task Force on 21st Century Policing by President Barack Obama. Tracy Mears is not only tops in her graduating class, she continues to show through her resilience and persistence why she is head and shoulders above the rest. Congratulations, Professor Mears. We end this week in memoriam, dedicating this broadcast to our beloved colleague and friend, Bishop Stephen J. Smith, Jr. For more than 10 years, he served as the director of the Media and Telecom Project of Rainbow Push Coalition. His passionate vocation was that of preacher of the gospel and servant in the Lord's church, serving as adjutant bishop of the Bethel Churches of Christ Incorporated. A consummate supporter of the efforts of his colleagues and the organization, his presence and positive outlook served as a source of inspiration for many, both within and without the civil rights community. His sudden passing has been a shock to all of us, but we are comforted by his example of faith and unwavering commitment to live life well and in service to others. The plans for the celebration of Bishop Smith's life are incomplete at this time. We certainly hold Bishop's family, friends, and the Bethel churches in our prayers. May Bishop Stephen J. Smith, Jr. find eternal rest in the joy of his Lord, and may we find comfort in remembering how he lived and how he served. As Reverend Jackson said in New Orleans, history is unbroken continuity because God has never missed a day. Because God has never missed a day, we are justified in keeping hope alive. For more information about the work of Rainbow Push Coalition and how you can be a part of the movement and give to this important work, go to rainbowpush.org. That is this week's Due Process. I'm Todd Beard.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Saturday Morning Forum. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe to our content, and share the content so that this message can be spread all around the nation and all around the world. If you haven't done so, also become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition. Help us support the work that we have been doing for decades. Go to our website at www.rainbowpush.org and become a member today. You can also donate if you text the word PUSH to 41444. Listen, friends, that's all the time we have for today. Please join us next week, same time, same place. And until next time, I'm Tim Lee.
We're excited to get more people involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in impacting public policies, if you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, you can become a policymaker by becoming a member of Rainbow Push right now. For an annual membership of $35, or if you're a student or senior, $15, you can help us make a difference in the lives of millions. How do you become a member? Visit our website at rainbowpush.org and press join. Or maybe you'd like to support us. You can text the word PUSH, that's PUSH, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give any amount you feel comfortable giving. You can also call us at 773-256-2775. Or go to rainbowpush.org and push donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.